Have you ever heard of Abraxas? This ancient figure, with its roots in Gnosticism, holds a fascinating connection to the development of Abrahamic religions. Join me as we delve into the hidden history of Abraxas and explore its profound impact on our spiritual understanding. Throughout history, various groups have sought to harness the power of the divine through the use of sacred names. From the Hebrew tetragrammaton to the Greek pentagrammaton, these names hold immense significance and are believed to embody the essence of the divine. Among them, the name Abraxas stands out as a powerful symbol of spirituality and enlightenment. But what exactly is Abraxas, and how did it come into existence? In this video, we delve into the depths of this mysterious term and explore its hidden meanings and origins. Join us on this journey of discovery as we uncover the secrets of Abraxas and its profound impact on those who seek a deeper connection with the divine. Welcome to our channel, where we take you on an exciting journey through the hidden mysteries of the past. If you love exploring the unknown and uncovering secrets that have been buried for centuries, then make sure to subscribe for more amazing content. Now let's dive into today's video and discover the mind-blowing truth behind the shocking origins of Abraxas. As we delve into the historical origins of Abraxas, it's important to recognize the absence of concrete evidence that can definitively trace its roots. Historical records are incomplete and often shrouded in mystery, leaving us with fragmented pieces of information that scholars and researchers piece together to form a coherent narrative. The exact point of origin for Abraxas remains elusive, but that doesn't mean we can't explore the rich tapestry of symbolism and beliefs that surround it. By examining the various myths, texts, and spiritual practices associated with Abraxas, we can gain a deeper understanding of its multifaceted nature and the diverse ways in which it has been interpreted throughout history. One compelling theory suggests that the origins of Abraxas can be found in the ancient teachings of Gnosticism. Gnosticism was a diverse collection of religious and philosophical ideas that emerged in the early centuries AD, blending Jewish, Christian, and pagan elements. At the core of Gnosticism was the belief in a divine spark within each individual, known as the Gnosis, which had the power to bring about spiritual awakening and enlightenment. This concept of inner divinity resonated with many and led to the development of various Gnostic sects with their own unique beliefs and practices. One such sect held the belief that the material world was not created by the one true God, but rather by a lesser being known as the demiurge. This demiurge was seen as an ignorant and jealous deity who kept humanity enslaved through ignorance and materialism. However, there was hope for liberation, as the Gnostics believed that a savior named Christ could lead humanity to enlightenment. But this savior wasn't the same as the Jesus Christ revered in traditional Christianity. Instead, the Gnostic Christ was a divine being who brought secret knowledge to those who were spiritually awakened. In the Nag Hammadi texts, a collection of Gnostic writings discovered in Egypt in the 20th century, we find references to a figure named Abraxas. This figure is described as the embodiment of the 365 letters of the Gnostic Bible, representing the totality of divine wisdom and knowledge. Some scholars believe that this Abraxas was a personification of the divine spark within each individual, urging believers to awaken to their true potential and break free from the shackles of ignorance. This Gnostic interpretation of Abraxas offers a fascinating perspective on the meaning and origins of this mysterious term. By understanding the Gnostic beliefs and symbolism surrounding Abraxas, we can gain a deeper appreciation for its multifaceted nature and the various ways in which it has been interpreted throughout history. Furthermore, the Gnostic view of Abraxas as a representation of the divine spark within each individual aligns with the broader themes of self-discovery and enlightenment that resonate across many spiritual traditions. The idea that there is a higher truth hidden from the masses, and that individuals must awaken to this truth through their own inner wisdom, is a powerful concept that continues to captivate seekers of spiritual knowledge. However, it's important to acknowledge that the historical Jesus did not have a direct connection to Gnosticism or the term Abraxas. The term Abraxas is not mentioned in any of the canonical Gospels or in the early Christian writings. Its association with Jesus seems to have emerged later in Christian history, when Gnostic influences began to intertwine with mainstream Christianity. As Christianity spread and evolved, various beliefs and practices from different religious and philosophical traditions were incorporated into its teachings. Some of these influences included Hermeticism, a spiritual and philosophical system attributed to the legendary figure Hermes Trismegistus, and Kabbalah, the esoteric teachings of Judaism. These influences brought their own unique perspectives and symbolism, which contributed to the richness and complexity of Christian theology. During the Middle Ages, the term Abraxas started appearing in Christian texts, often associated with alchemy and the search for the philosopher's stone. Alchemy, a form of proto-chemistry, or seen as a means to transmute base metals into gold, and was believed to hold the key to spiritual transformation. The philosopher's stone, a legendary substance said to have the power to turn lead into gold, became a symbol of spiritual perfection and enlightenment. Some alchemists viewed Abraxas as a representation of this ultimate goal, a symbol of the divine spark that could be refined and elevated through the alchemical process. Another fascinating aspect of Abraxas's symbolism is its connection to the Holy Trinity. In Christian theology, the Holy Trinity refers to the belief in one God who exists in three distinct persons: the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Abraxas, with its numerical value of 365, can be seen as a representation of this threefold divine nature. The number 365, corresponding to the days in a year, symbolizes the cyclical nature of time and the eternal recurrence of life, death, and rebirth. It reflects the belief in the Trinity and the idea that God is present in all things at all times. Beyond its religious symbolism, Abraxas also found its way into art and literature. In medieval art, Abraxas were sometimes depicted as a winged creature or an enthroned king, symbolizing the transcendent nature of the divine. Writers like John Dee, an English mathematician and astrologer, incorporated Abraxas into their works, associating it with the mysteries of the universe and the hidden knowledge of the ancients. As we continue to explore the symbolism of Abraxas, it's important to recognize the fluidity and adaptability of this term. Throughout history, different cultures and individuals have assigned their own meanings and interpretations to Abraxas, reflecting its capacity to encompass a wide range of beliefs and ideas. This adaptability has allowed Abraxas to transcend religious boundaries and become a universal symbol of spirituality, enlightenment, and the search for truth. And finally, the hidden truth behind the shocking origins of Abraxas lies in its connection to the ancient mystery schools. These secretive and esoteric institutions played a significant role in preserving and transmitting ancient wisdom and knowledge. The teachings of the mystery schools often blended elements of various spiritual traditions, creating a synthesis of beliefs and practices that were both mystical and practical. The mystery schools were deeply concerned with the nature of reality, the origins of the universe, and the purpose of human existence. They sought to unravel the hidden truths of the cosmos and guide initiates on their spiritual journeys. One of the central figures associated with the mystery schools was the legendary figure of Hermes Trismegistus, credited with the Hermetic teachings. Hermes was believed to be a transmitter of ancient wisdom, a conduit between the realms of the divine and the human. His teachings, known as Hermetism, explored themes such as alchemy, astrology, and the pursuit of spiritual perfection. Within the Hermetic corpus, a collection of texts attributed to Hermes, we find references to the primordial substance from which all things are created. This substance, often referred to as the prima materia, is described as the source of all life and the building block of the universe. The concept of the prima materia resonates with the idea of the divine spark present in Abraxas, suggesting a connection between Hermeticism and the notion of an inner divinity. The mystery schools were highly secretive, and their teachings were transmitted orally, ensuring that only those who were deemed worthy would have access to their hidden knowledge. Initiates were often subjected to rigorous tests and rituals designed to purify their minds and prepare them for the unveiling of sacred truths. The secrecy surrounding the mystery schools created an air of mystery and intrigue, setting them apart from mainstream religious and philosophical institutions. One of the key aspects of the mystery schools was the emphasis on personal transformation and spiritual enlightenment. The teachings were not meant to be merely intellectual exercises, but were intended to guide individuals on a path of self-discovery and growth. Initiates were encouraged to explore their inner selves, overcome their limitations, and strive for spiritual perfection. The mystery schools had a profound influence on various spiritual and philosophical movements throughout history. Their teachings influenced the development of esoteric traditions such as alchemy, astrology, and magic. The concepts and practices that originated in the mystery schools continued to be studied and refined by scholars and practitioners seeking to unlock the secrets of the universe. Today, the legacy of the mystery schools lives on in the New Age movement, which emphasizes personal transformation, spiritual exploration, and the pursuit of hidden knowledge. The teachings of the mystery schools continue to inspire individuals who seek to understand the deeper mysteries of life and the nature of reality. Now it's time for you to share your thoughts. What are your thoughts on the hidden origins of Abraxas? Do you believe that the secret name holds the key to unlocking spiritual enlightenment? Share your insights and experiences in the comments below. We would love to hear from you. Abraxas, a figure so enigmatic, so shrouded in mystery that his very essence has sparked countless interpretations. Who is Abraxas? What are his origins, and why does he hold such sway over our collective imagination? Today we delve into the depths of Abraxas's lore, exploring his roots in Gnosticism, and how this ancient philosophy continues to cast its shadow over our modern conceptions of him. Before we begin, let's take a moment to talk about where this name even comes from. The word Abraxas itself is believed to have originated from the Gnostic tradition. In fact, it was first attested in the 2nd century CE in a number of Gnostic texts. For instance, there's a reference to it in the Pistis Sophia, an important Gnostic text that details the teachings of the Apostle Thomas. Now, if you're not familiar with Gnosticism, let me give you a quick rundown. Gnosticism was more than just a religion. It was a multifaceted spiritual movement that flourished in the early century CE, leaving its indelible mark on the landscape of Western esotericism. At its core, Gnosticism revolved around the concept of gnosis, which roughly translates to secret knowledge. This secret knowledge was not meant for everyone. It was a truth hidden from the masses, a revelation reserved for those who sought it, who delved deep into their own inner selves to uncover the mysteries of the universe and their place within it. For the Gnostics, the cosmos was not merely a physical realm, but a grand tapestry woven with threads of the divine and the material. They saw the material world as a flawed creation, a distorted reflection of the true divine pleroma, which was perfect and utterly spiritual. And within this imperfect world, they believed that humans, with their inherent spark of divinity, were trapped, ignorant of their true nature and their connection to the divine. Gnosticism offered a path to enlightenment, a way to break free from the shackles of ignorance through the pursuit of gnosis, the secret knowledge. By attaining this knowledge, individuals could awaken to their true spiritual identity and ascend back to the pleroma, reuniting with the source of all being. But here's where Abraxas enters the picture. He is not just a being mentioned in passing. No, he is a pivotal figure in Gnostic thought, embodying the very essence of this secret knowledge. To truly understand Abraxas, we must first grasp the central tenets of Gnosticism, especially the belief in the divine spark. Every human being, according to Gnostic beliefs, possesses a divine spark, a fragment of the one true God trapped within the material world. This spark is the individual's link to the pleroma, and its purpose is to guide the soul back to its divine home. But this journey is fraught with challenges. The material world, with its allurements and distractions, often obscures this divine spark, leading the individual astray. And here's where Abraxas becomes a beacon. He symbolizes the divine spark itself, the latent potential for enlightenment that resides within us all. In many ways, Abraxas is a representation of the unawakened self, the part of us that remains dormant until the spark is ignited. The process of recognizing and nurturing this spark is akin to a spiritual awakening. It involves introspection, a quest for knowledge, and a constant striving to shed the layers of material attachment that veil our true nature. Abraxas, therefore, becomes a symbol of this journey, reminding us of the divine potential that lies within our grasp. However, Abraxas is more than just a representation of the individual's inner divinity. He also embodies the Gnostic concept of the great unknown. This great unknown is not just a reference to the unknowable nature of the Godhead, but also to the vast mysteries of the universe and the human soul. Abraxas, in his enigmatic nature, personifies these mysteries, serving as a constant reminder of the limits of human understanding. In the face of the great unknown, we are humbled, our finite knowledge dwarfed by the infinite complexities of existence. Abraxas, therefore, becomes a conduit to the transcendent, a symbol of the mysteries that lie beyond our immediate grasp. The Gnostics, with their deep reverence for the esoteric and their constant exploration of the hidden dimensions of reality, viewed the universe as a complex web of existence, much like a vast cosmic drama. Each event, each interaction, each facet of creation was seen as a piece of this grand puzzle. Abraxas, in this context, becomes a key player in the drama of existence, a catalyst for the unfolding of spiritual truths. His actions and interactions serve to illuminate deeper spiritual realities, acting as a lens through which the Gnostics could view the mysteries of the cosmos. To truly appreciate the significance of Abraxas, one must also understand the concept of gnosis itself. Remember, gnosis is not merely knowledge, it is secret knowledge, a special kind of knowing that goes beyond the rational and intellectual. It is a mystical, intuitive understanding that can only be experienced directly. Abraxas, with his enigmatic nature, serves as a catalyst for gnosis. His presence acts as a trigger for spiritual awakening, urging individuals to move beyond intellectual understanding towards direct experience. In the ancient world, before the advent of modern science, the universe was a realm filled with mysteries, with celestial bodies, a natural phenomena that were not easily explained. This lack of complete understanding gave rise to myths and legends, personifying these mysteries, and Abraxas is one such personification. For the Gnostics, Abraxas became a symbol of the awe and wonder they felt in the face of the unknown. He represented the vastness and complexity of the universe, reminding them of the limits of human comprehension. In the tapestry of Abraxas's lore, we find intriguing connections to other figures and concepts that enrich his character and provide further insights into the Gnostic worldview. One such connection is to the idea of the androgen. In Gnostic thought, the androgen symbolized the ideal state of humanity, representing a perfect balance between the masculine and feminine principles. This concept aligns with Abraxas's androgynous representation, suggesting a harmony between opposing forces. Another fascinating link is Abraxas's association with the primordial waters. In Gnostic cosmology, the primordial waters held immense significance as the source of creation and the womb of the universe. This association evokes a sense of timelessness and eternity, positioning Abraxas as a being beyond the confines of linear time. Moreover, Abraxas's attributes include the presence of light, often depicted as a luminous flame or a radiant aura. Light, in the Gnostic context, symbolized wisdom, enlightenment, and the divine spark. Thus, Abraxas, radiating light, becomes a beacon guiding seekers towards spiritual illumination As we continue to unravel the enigma that is Abraxas, it's crucial to recognize the influence of various cultures and traditions on his character. For instance, his name itself resonates with the Hebrew letter Aleph, representing a connection to Jewish mysticism. Additionally, Abraxas shares similarities with figures from other mystery cults, highlighting the syncretic nature of his character, which absorbed and integrated elements from diverse spiritual traditions. Throughout history, the concept of Abraxas has permeated various spiritual and esoteric traditions, leaving an enduring legacy that continues to captivate and inspire. One such tradition where Abraxas finds resonance is in alchemy. Alchemists, with their deep interest in the mysteries of matter and the transformation of substances, saw Abraxas as a symbol of the process of spiritual transmutation. In alchemy, the leaden vessel, representing the material world, is transformed into gold, symbolizing spiritual enlightenment, and Abraxas, the alchemist's stone, serves as the catalyst for this transformation, mirroring the Gnostic concept of spiritual awakening. Exploring the rich tapestry of Abraxas's lore, we encounter figures and stories that not only expand our understanding of his character, but also offer profound insights into the Gnostic worldview. One such narrative is the myth of the fall of man. In the Gnostic telling, the story of Adam and Eve takes on a different shade of meaning. It's not merely a tale of disobedience, but a metaphor for the human condition. The forbidden fruit represents the pursuit of secret knowledge, and the expulsion from the Garden of Eden symbolizes the consequences of seeking enlightenment. Here, Abraxas may be seen as the embodiment of this pursuit, driving individuals to seek gnosis, even if it means leaving the comfort of ignorance behind. Another compelling aspect of Abraxas' lore is his connection to the Tree of Life. The Tree of Life, with its intricate symbolism, represents the structure of the universe and the path to enlightenment. In this context, Abraxas may be viewed as the ultimate goal, the Sephirot, Ketha, or the crown, signifying the highest level of spiritual attainment. This interpretation links Abraxas to the ultimate source of divine wisdom and unity with the divine essence. However, despite his association with light and wisdom, Abraxas is also linked to darkness and hidden depths. This duality reflects the Gnostic understanding of the universe as a place where light and darkness coexist, where the divine spark is often obscured by the material world. In this context, Abraxas embodies both the challenge and the opportunity for spiritual growth, urging individuals to confront the darkness within themselves to unearth the hidden wisdom. As we delve deeper into the labyrinthine world of Abraxas's lore, we encounter tales of initiation and transformation that offer profound insights into the Gnostic path to enlightenment. The story of the adept and the angel exemplifies this journey. The adept, symbolizing the seeker of wisdom, is tested by the angel, representing divine forces. Through this interaction, the adept is purified and elevated, mirroring the process of spiritual awakening and the ascent to higher levels of consciousness. Abraxas, in this narrative, stands as the ultimate goal, the point of union with the divine, achieved when the adept successfully navigates the trials and emerges transformed. In conclusion, Abraxas, with his enigmatic nature and multifaceted symbolism, continues to captivate the minds of those who seek to understand his timeless allure. As we've explored in our discussion, his roots lie deeply embedded in the esoteric teachings of Gnosticism, a spiritual movement that dared to delve into the hidden recesses of the universe and the human soul. From the concept of the divine spark within us to the pursuit of secret knowledge and the mysteries of the great unknown, Abraxas emerged as a pivotal figure representing the essence of Gnostic thought. His story intertwined with the Gnostic worldview, reflecting a profound reverence for the complexity and wonder of existence, a relentless quest for enlightenment, and a deep appreciation for the interplay of light and darkness in the human journey. So what do you think? Does this information help to unveil some of the secrets surrounding Abraxas? If you enjoyed this journey through Abraxas's lore and Gnostic teachings, I invite you to explore further, to dig deeper into the ancient texts and esoteric traditions that have shaped this enigmatic figure. Feel free to share your thoughts, insights, and any additional information you may have in the comments below. Your contributions can enrich the tapestry of our collective knowledge, helping us to weave a more comprehensive understanding of Abraxas and his enduring legacy. And if you want more content like this, don't forget to like and subscribe. Until next time, may your journey through life be filled with curiosity, wonder, and a thirst for hidden wisdom. You can't talk about Abraxas without talking about the impact it has had on modern culture. So many people have been influenced by this singular mythos that is Abraxas. And today we're gonna be looking at how that all started and some of the other ways that Abraxas is represented in our culture today. Now let's get into the topic for this episode. I would like to look at how Abraxas influences modern culture. But to do that, we first have to know what Abraxas is. And to find out what Abraxas is, we have to look at some of the ancient texts, specifically the Coptic text of the Apocalypse of Peter, because that is where Abraxas originates from. The origin of the name Abraxas is still a little bit of an enigma. However, it is theorized by scholars that the name may have come from the Akkadian word for greatness, or it may have actually originated from a name of a Babylonian deity. But here's the thing, Abraxas isn't just some evil god. In fact, he isn't really a god at all. He is more of a personification of the demiurge's power, and his name probably came from one of the gods that were absorbed into the demiurge over time. In the Apocalypse of Peter, he is described as having 365 names, which could possibly represent the number of days in a year, or possibly the hours in a year, depending on if you include leap years. Each letter of his name, when translated into its corresponding number, adds up to 365, according to researchers who prefer to remain anonymous. They also state that Abraxas is derived from the Hebrew letters Aleph, Lamed, Resh, Shin, Tar, and Yod. When these letters are transliterated into Greek, it comes out to Abraxas. They go on to say that each of those letters correspond with a certain number. When you add those numbers together, you get 666, which, fun fact, is another number attributed to the beast in the book of Revelation. That's pretty wild. The main point here is that Abraxas has a lot of numbers associated with him, especially numbers that have to do with time, whether that be the 365 names associated with the hours in a day, the hours in a year, or the number of days in a year, or even the number 666, which could possibly refer to the 6 days of creation, and the 7th day being the Sabbath, thus making it a holy day. In the text, Abraxas is referred to as a great king and ruler of the universe, and he's also considered the supreme leader of the powers of darkness, and is thought to be the leader of the fallen angels. However, this Abraxas is not an evil god. He is simply a force of nature, a natural force of the universe that the author of the text was trying to explain. It should be noted that Abraxas isn't depicted as an evil figure in any of the Gnostic texts, nor is he the source of evil. Rather, he is an obstacle to spiritual enlightenment. The goal of many of the Gnostic texts is to help the reader escape the control of the demiurge, so they can reach their true potential and realize that they are actually divine sparks, imprisoned in a material world. So now that we know a little bit about Abraxas, let's talk about how he influences culture today. So let's start off with some basic stuff. If you type Abraxas into Google Images, the top hits are all related to rock music, and there's a good reason for that. One of the most popular uses of the word Abraxas in modern times was used by the band Black Sabbath. Their hit song Iron Man featured the lyric destroy, destroy, destroy. Oh, Abraxas. Obviously, this isn't a super positive association, and obviously, Black Sabbath is a heavy metal band, so the tone of the song is meant to be dark. But regardless, this is how most people associate Abraxas, with evil, darkness, and destruction. However, the band didn't use Abraxas just because he was some sort of evil deity. It turns out that Tony Iommi, the guitarist for Black Sabbath, was writing the lyrics for Iron Man while reading a Marvel comic book. In this particular issue, Iron Man was facing off against a villain named the Dweller in Darkness, who was also known as Abraxas. This is why he included Abraxas in the lyrics. Another group that is named after Abraxas is the progressive rock band formed by the members of Yes. After Roger Dean created the artwork for their album, Close to the Edge, he would later join the band as their official artist and create the artwork for many of their albums. In an interview with the blog Brave Words and Beyond, Dean spoke about how he interpreted Abraxas. So I think that Abraxas is basically an idea of an entity that would wipe everything out and start again. He said that Abraxas is an old concept that goes way back. It's certainly pre-Christian, and I think it's part of the human condition to imagine something destructive that will destroy everything that we've done and just wipe it all out and start again. When speaking about the artwork for the album, he went on to say, "I think it's one of the best pieces I've ever done. The original idea came to me in a dream. It was all laid out in front of me, and it just looked fantastic. It was a huge painting, much bigger than an LP cover size, and I remember waking up from the dream and thinking, wow, that was amazing. I hope I can do it justice." Of course, in the dream, it all looks wonderful, and you try to transfer it onto a smaller scale. Roger Dean is actually a really good example of how Abraxas influences art to this day. His interpretation of Abraxas wasn't necessarily evil, but rather a necessary force for renewal. Another artist who also drew inspiration from Abraxas and used the name in one of his songs is David Bowie. The title of the song is also Abraxas, and the lyrics seem to tell the story of someone who's possessed by a demon named Abraxas. The song was never officially released during Bowie's lifetime, but it was included on the compilation album Cracked Acta in 2000. There's also a character in the Marvel Universe named Mestros, who is an Eternal and is actually immortal. This character has a connection with Captain America, and the two of them actually fought side by side against the Avengers. He is actually one of the only characters in the Marvel Universe who knows the real identity of Captain America. However, when Thanos snapped his fingers and wiped out half the universe, Mestrio was one of the ones who didn't make it and died. Abraxas also appears in the 2007 film adaptation of 300. He is the name of the Persian god that Xerxes worships. And lastly, there's an esoteric tradition that revolves around Abraxas that is still practiced to this day. I recently made a video about a modern magical system that was based around Abraxas called the Abraxian Theurgy. To briefly summarize, Abraxian Theurgy is a form of theurgy that is centered around the worship of Abraxas. A lot of their practices revolve around astrology and theurgical magic. The main goal of this tradition is to invoke the powers of Abraxas in order to bring about spiritual and psychological transformation. This practice is mostly done through meditation, invocation, and visualization. However, since this is a relatively new esoteric tradition, not a lot is known about its history or its origins, and there's very little information online about it. But I think it's important to mention that Abraxas is still somewhat of a mystery. We don't really know all the ins and outs of this figure. We don't know exactly where it originated from or what it really means. And I think that's a big part of why Abraxas continues to capture people's imaginations today. It's a blank slate that anyone can project whatever they want onto. It can be an evil god or a neutral force of nature. It can be a symbol of rebellion or a representation of the demiurge. All of that depends on who you ask. I think that's one of the reasons why Gnostic teachings are still relevant today. It's because these texts offer an alternative explanation for the world that doesn't rely on a literal interpretation of religious texts. These texts allow for a more open-minded approach to spirituality and religion, which is something that's sorely needed in today's world. The mystery endures. What do you think about Abraxas? Do you think it's an evil god or a neutral force of nature? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video and you'd like to see more videos on the Abraxas mythos, let me know that as well. I'm curious to know if there's enough interest to continue doing these videos. Thank you all for watching, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.